friends, today I want to talk with you about this stitch that we did right here in order to get these kind of spines or ribs along the cactus here. This one is done with a size 3 thread, and that's part of what gives it the texture that it has. Okay, let me set this aside. Here's an example of it right here. Sometimes called the spider web stitch or a whipped woven stitch. Here's another example of it right here. Can you see the purple one? There we go. Where these spokes are stitched around a circle, and then as you do it, typically the mantra that you say is under 2, back 1, under 2, back 1. But what that does is just wraps your thread around the spoke every time you go around. So we're going to kind of do that same thing, but instead of going around, we're going to go back and forth, and we're going to just wrap around the spokes or the ribs of our cactus. There we go. Okay, so this is where my cactus would be. Okay, that's where the green part of the wool is, or where we want it to end up. So the first thing we need is those spokes. And so if you're doing a shorter one, you can just do the spokes as one stitch. But on that one, it's not a shorter one and it curves. And so the way that I do that is just to do shorter stitches that aren't quite as long. They're going to be tacked down really well, but I wouldn't go over a couple of inches long. However, since I want to show this to you, I'm going to do my first one really short. Okay. So, and then I overlap the next one. So you need to not go at the end of this. We need to overlap it by just a tiny, like that. Can you see how I'm overlapping that? And then I'll do the next one. And when I did my overlapping, so my next one could be a different direction to give it part of the curve. When I did the next ones, I don't like them to overlap in the same place. So this next one, oops, pulling my tail through. Don't need that fuzz. There we go. I want it to overlap too, but I don't want it to overlap in the same place. So I'm going to go up to here for this one. You see how my overlaps are kind of offset? And then on my last one that I need here, I'm going to do that one really low. Now these all should have started in the same place. They didn't, but yours will, because you're covering wool that's already on there. Okay, see how these are all 3 split in different places? It just will help it look better. Okay, so now you go to the bottom of the green section. Or if you wanted, you could start in the middle and then go both directions afterwards. And then we do that same thing. So we're going to start over on this edge. We're going to go around this one. So we go under and then back 1. Now this time you can just go under that one, or you can do it like you do, like the mantra of the other one of under 2, back 1, under 2, back 1. If there's not 2 to go under, now see how we went around each of these, and then you go back down on this side. And then we're going to go backwards and do the exact same thing. I'm going to try zooming in and see if you can see if that helps. Okay, so we're going to start right just barely above that last one because you want to keep these stitches close. We're going to go under, but it's got to go, we can't go under 2 because we haven't gone back 1 yet. I don't know if that makes sense. You have to go around each spoke, and sometimes that's how I like to think of it, is just go around that one. Go around number 1 or number 3, whichever one you want to call it. Go around number 2. Go around number 1. And then go back down. And you remember, we want to keep them close. I don't want a gap here. You've got wool behind it that will help hide any of those gaps, but you want to keep them as close as you can. It will also help in the end to keep your little loops around here as snug as you can. You can see that I'm kind of trying to slide them down and keep them nice and snug. Okay, there's still room. It looks like on this one I have room for 1 more before it's time to go through that one. So let's go under that one. And then around number 1 and under number 2. Make sure when you're pulling them tight that you keep them in the right order. I've got to make sure they show, sorry. Around number 2 and under number 3. Around number 3. And again, we're going to go off over here really close to our last one. We want to keep those as neat as we can. We're going to come back up. Okay, this time when we get to, if they were numbered 1, 2, 3, that's kind of how I'm referring to them. So we'll do number 3. See, now that we're out in the middle of this, you can see that it pulls a little. So just play with it and try to keep that line as straight as you can. And that's why I make those not 2 inches long. It's easier to have the overlaps in them because it'll help you keep them straight. Oops, we've got to go under and then around. And then I didn't go under this next one because I wanted to show you. Now this time, because we're to the end, this one is starting right here, I'm going to go under both of them, and that's why they overlap. They only need to overlap enough for one. However, if you stitch them and they overlap 2, just make sure that when you're going under, you go under 2. So under, there we go. So that will cover that little overlap in our spokes that we are going around. And then the next time we go back, it will just be under the new thread. So under, under, under. Okay, I'm going to work my way up to the next time we do that so that I can go over that concept again. Okay, it's possible that we could squeeze one more in before the overlap, but I think we're fine without it. So let's go ahead. This time in our center spoke, we've got both of these 2 where they overlap. So let's do our spoke number 1 first. Around we go. Okay, so for spoke number 2, I'm going to go under both, under this old one and under the new one. Under the old, under the new. Does that make sense? And so I'm just kind of making them as if they were one thread for this one time. Now again, if your overlap is longer than that, you might have to make them one thread for 2 rounds. And down. Okay, yours will turn out better looking than mine because you will have wool underneath here, so your edges will look nice and neat and even, and I just went with the chalk. The other thing to watch is that sometimes I have pulled them very tightly, and that's pulled them in. But this is how you will get those ridges or ribs along your cactuses. And this is using that woven spiderweb stitch, woven whipped circle stitch, but flattening it out to a row instead of a round. Okay. We'll see you next time.